Welcome to Mastering Local Marketing. My name is Matt Hansen. This is episode 73, and we are talking about the lipstick effect. So if you run a small business, you've probably seen it. Even when the wallets tighten, people still splurge on coffee, accessories, and self-care. Why do those luxuries survive when big spending disappears? Even in tough times, customers still find ways to treat themselves. Psychologists call it the lipstick effect, and it's the idea that when budgets shrink, people still splurge on small, affordable luxuries to boost their mood. For small business owners, this isn't just an interesting trend, it's a powerful insight into consumer behavior that can shape how you market and sell. In this episode, we'll explore the psychology behind the lipstick effect and why it matters for your business. You'll hear real-world examples of small businesses that thrive by offering little luxuries customers can't resist, from coffee shops and bakeries to local boutiques and beauty services. More importantly, we'll break down how you can position your products and messaging to tap into this consumer mindset. If you've ever wondered why customers buy small indulgences during downturns and how you can turn that into growth, this episode gives you the answers. Today, I have a special guest with me. Jim is out on a conference, and we were telling him we were going to replace him last week. So we've got Ozzy with us today. Ozzy, give us a little bit of background on you.
Hello, so my name's Ozzy. I am an international student from Pakistan. I got here in August 2022, I want to say. I did my bachelor's at Purdue Northwest in sociology with minors in economics and political science. And then I developed an interest in marketing very early on. Before college, when I was in high school, I was always like looking at marketing jobs and stuff like that. I just didn't think it was a viable career because that's what you hear all the time. Like, oh my God, it's going to be so hard and the job market is so volatile and all these things. And then slowly, all my jobs eventually turned into marketing, whether it was a student assistant position at the Office of Student Life or the Writing Center. I always was like, we can make a reel or two. This is a great conversation. Let's record it. Let's put it out there. And it just kind of went from there. And now I work for Fabio Viviani Hospitality. So I do social media marketing for them. And they have a lot of brands. So it's a lot of work. But it's very interesting because you get to learn different demographics, different people, how to market to them, how to cater to them, and just kind of trial and error of what works and what doesn't with these different brands.
Okay. So the reason I brought you on, and we're talking about this today, is you are a student that has recently graduated.
Yes.
And we are in an economy right now where people are starting to pull back. Mm-hmm. Right? So they're watching their money. Around by us right now, you're hearing a lot about money in the energy sector, and our electric bills are going up and all this other stuff. And,
Yes.
Everybody's kind of watching their money, which has transitioned as well into the job field and all this other
Yes.
stuff. So Ozzy's here today. We talked probably a few months ago. Mm-hmm. We had multiple people trying to hire her. So that'll tell you kind of where we're at. So if you're somebody out there that was looking for a job in this environment, mm-hmm. somebody snatched her up immediately. So that's why we brought her on today. I think, she definitely knows what she's doing. And she brought this up to us today, the lipstick effect. So explain to me what the lipstick effect is.
Okay, so it all started with me coming under fire personally from a lot of my friends and sometimes my parents saying that you don't need your daily $7 coffee. You don't need your like $9 product like makeup or whatever. And it was a bit of a problem. I'll admit it. I need my little, purchases here and there because it just made me feel better. And I was like, oh, yay, like I did my thing. And in my mind, I was saving money with girl math because I was like, oh, I'm not spending hundreds of dollars on one thing. I'm just spending like $9 here. It's not even double digits. And then because it was a constant debate all the time, I started reading up on this and I was like, let me see what this does for the economy. And I realized that this is actually a very valid thing. It's a very legitimate thing. It's called the lipstick effect, where all those tiny purchases that you make add up in an economy like ours, which a lot of people say are foreshadowing that it's going into a recession soon. It's those purchases that actually keep the economy running and going because people, like you said, money is tight. So nobody wants to spend hundreds of dollars on one product or, make those bigger purchases, especially the common average American, which is what matters the most. It's those purchases.
Yeah, I think and we see this, right? So it's if you're going to go out there and spend hundreds of dollars on something, uh, that's different than spending $5 or $8 here or there, right? And you're
Yes.
talking about the coffees of the world. You can look at it as manicures, things of those nature
Yes.
that aren't necessarily huge, enormous spends, but still make you feel good as you're going through your day. And they're little
Yes.
rewards. I think is kind of how we want to shape that.
Exactly.
So from a small business perspective, somebody that's in marketing, maybe a one-person team, maybe an owner, how do they take the lipstick effect,
Yes.
and apply it to their business as the because let's face it, if the economy starts to slow, they see less spending, their
Yes.
customers are pulling back. How do they take that and flip it so that they can still maintain sales, but they just need to kind of reposition their offerings?
Honestly, I would say that the best thing for this is marketing because it's something that people look for. And again, there's a lot of factors that come into play in this, like it's your geographic location. It's whether you're a hybrid business model and you're working solely remote. So your products, there's no shop, there's no actual location or something. But people have this need and they have this desire, especially in today's economy, because it's much easier to spend the $7 a day instead of something bigger. So if you're a small business owner, I think today's time is one of the most opportune times for you specifically because you can utilize this kind of space in the market. And if you're just able to get to your target customer and be like, hey, it's not a big deal. We're not telling you to buy our entire product line, which is like not even like a couple hundred, but like $50. Buy this one product and a little mini size of it, and the total is going to be like 12. What is $12? If you start marketing like that, and also, if you start focusing on the daily happiness, and I feel like some semblance of sustainability, like, oh, you buy this product now, you're not going to need it again for the next 3 months or something like that. You probably will,
Yeah.
but that's kind of what marketing is.
Right.
It's creating that need and desire, letting people know that you might not have heard of this product or you might see it all the time, but you definitely need it. And I think when you're doing these combination of things and again, I think one of the most important things in this is social media marketing because it's quick, it's easy. You can put makeup on one day, make 10 reels that day. Set aside a day just for scheduling content and make 10 reels a day and start actually talking to people and being relatable to them. A lot of the business models that I've seen have been doing really well, and I've been following a couple that started like 3, 4 years ago, and now they're much larger. Now they have like store locations and they're operating on an international level. A lot of that happened just because the owner or the founder was a 20-something-year-old and they went on TikTok and they're like, hey, I have this really cool product and I use it all the time and this is what it looks like on. I'm going to have my mom try it too. And mom comes in and mom doesn't know what it is, but mom tries it. And the audience relates to that because it makes them feel like, you know what? If I just get this one product, my life will be so much better. Because that's how you think as a consumer, oftentimes.
Right. Yeah. When we buy things, many times, let's say you go out there and you buy a new car.
Yeah.
It feels great for about the first month, and then it's over, right?
Yes.
Then you get your first ding in it, or something happens, right? Like it's great up front, but over the lifespan of the car, the newness wears off, right?
Yes.
So if you're spending $5 or you're spending $50,000, I mean, I can buy 30 days of $5 coffees versus a $50,000 car and get the same feeling, whatever.
Yes.
And that's what we're talking about today, is that when the economy starts to slow, we see this effect start to happen a lot more. And the smart businesses are going out there and realizing it and seeing the trend, right? They're identifying the trend first. So if you're on social media, what we're saying is, if you're starting to see this, the smart companies are already playing into this before anything happens. Now, and I think, I don't think it's the end of this year that we're going to see an economic downturn. It may be next year. I mean, definitely by 2027, I think it's going to definitely hit. But where it falls, we don't know, but there are indicators. So when we talk about marketing and we talk about marketing research, if you're starting to see this over and over and over again, the smart brands are actually jumping ahead of you. So pay attention to the large brands, right? So, we're talking makeup and the lipstick effect, quote unquote. Something like Sephora, you'll see them out ahead of this, where maybe they have smaller sizes that are coming out. I know they give like the free gifts and things like that. My daughter had me sign up for a free gift one time, but okay. But what we're saying is maybe the product sizes are getting smaller, the more impulse type things, and those are identifiers of what's to come.
Yes.
So I think from a small business perspective, do you think, they need to pay attention to that?
Oh, 100%. Because the thing is, you have to realize that yes, you're selling a product. And for smaller businesses, I understand costs are higher. It's not that easy to take a hit and be like, oh, you know what, I'll have like a lesser profit or lesser revenue for the first 3 months or like this 3 months. And then after that, I'll take my prices up or something. I understand it's harder to do that when you're a small business. But at the same time, you have to understand that
fall is all about cozy comforts. But when you're prioritizing your health, it's easy to feel like you're missing out. With Hero Bread, you can enjoy all your fall favorites because they're made with Hero Bread sliced bread loaves, tortillas, bagels, dinner rolls, and more. Try their all-new Hero Noodles with 12 grams of protein and just 80 calories. So skip replacing every carb with cauliflower and indulge in your breakfast, lunch, and dinner time favorites while still hitting your goals. From breakfast bagels and meal prepped enchiladas to mouth-watering burgers and cheesy noodles. You won't believe Hero Bread's options have 0 to 5 grams net carbs and are high fiber from the taste and texture. They've even got small batch drops of indulgent favorites like the popular Hero Croissant. And right now, Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use code FALL25 at checkout. That's fall25 at hero.co. All figures are per serving of Hero Bread. Contains 2 to 18 grams of fat per serving. See the product nutrition panels on hero.co for more information.
yes, you're selling a good or service, but you're selling gratification at the end of the day. And once you kind of clock that or catch it, it becomes so much easier for you to market and just be more likable or marketable. Because when you start selling that gratification, like you said, I can have 30 days of happiness with my $5 coffee, or I can have 2 weeks of happiness with like a $50,000 car.
Yeah.
So there is that. And like you said, a lot of the times bigger companies, because they're able to catch on to this, they're spending millions,
Right.
in research and development. So they catch on to these trends. And I think a lot of times that might just be the easier thing to do. As a small business, when you don't have the resources to do your own research on a larger level, it's looking at the bigger companies. Like, I don't know if we're allowed to say brand names on this.
Go for
yeah?
it.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
But like Burger King, they'll open up right next to a McDonald's. So
Right.
McDonald's does the research and development, and then Burger King is like, yep, they did it. I'm just going to open up right next to them, save a bunch of money, and use that money elsewhere. So it's not that you're just like holding on to your money as a small business. You do have to spend money to make money, but it's using it wisely, knowing your own restraints and limitations.
So going to the next level on this, you mentioned Burger King with McDonald's. I always say it's the Walmarts and the Starbucks of the world. If you're in
Yes.
those locations, they've done the research on it, right? But if you are selling product and you have, we've talked many times about how people or companies will have product that sells the most, right? It's constantly turning. Now, that's great to have, but as if the economy starts to go south a little bit, if your price points are relatively high, I would recommend you go in and start to look at this and go, okay, well, we sell a lot of something that's $100 on a reoccurring basis. Is there something kind of a stripped down luxury model of this that we can do that is only $30 or $40? And, so if you start to see your sales dwindle, economy's tanking, what you do is kind of like a high-end whatever. Is there some other kind of way that you can take a piece of that and create an affordable luxury?
Yes.
And I don't know what that example is off the top of my head, but, I think we need to look at things and go, we're here. As things down, we can deal with, we're not going to sell as much, or we can reposition our offerings accordingly using this effect and the ability to still give people their luxuries, but
Yes.
maybe just not everything they used to get, right? We're giving you the $50,000 car, but it's got 5 years on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is with that, you can always still market it as the same luxury,
Yep.
if not better. A lot of the times when companies are coming up with travel sizes of anything or like smaller models or something, they'll change up the marketing, the packaging a little bit, and it's cuter.
Right.
So because it looks better, it's marketed more. It's more of a you'll definitely need this because everyone's on the go all the time. Put it in your car, put it here, put it there. So when you're marketing it as a still luxurious product, and it's like, yeah, we're giving you less quantity, but this actually works better than the full size. And then it also comes down to math. As a small business, you could be selling two of the $100 bottles, which would be 200 total, right? Or you could sell 50 of the $20 ones, and that's just more money.
Right.
So a lot of times I feel like it looks like on an optical level that, if I have a smaller size, I'm gonna have to like redo the packaging. I'm gonna redo this and redo that. And who's gonna buy it and all those things. But that's kind of what entrepreneurship is.
Right.
You take those risks and you kind of run with them, and more often than not, they do end up being successful.
Yeah, no, I agree. Changing gears a little bit, when we look at how we market our products or services, many times people focus on the attributes of a product or,
Yes.
key pieces to it. I think what we're talking about here is less about the attributes and more about the feeling that we're getting
Yes.
from the product,
Yes.
right? So when we talk about the lipstick effect, the idea is I can't afford these major luxuries due to an economy that is going down, but I can buy the lipstick that still makes me feel a certain way, right?
Yes.
And I think we have to look at using this in those situations. And whatever product or service you're selling, it's all about the experience and how it makes you feel.
Yes.
And that is how your marketing message changes at this point. So smart marketers are always, you're not buying the product or service, you're buying what it does for you. Like,
Yes.
what's in it for me? And I think it gets accentuated in these times by this effect and the fact that I'm buying this to make me feel better. It's not, again, it's not a $50,000 car, it's a $5 coffee, but I enjoy my coffee every single day.
Yes.
Right.
And it's also this feeling of the quality of life being upgraded just a little
Yep.
bit. If you feel like you're buying a product and that your quality of life just improves, because it is a feeling at the end of the day, right? The quality of life, you can measure it and stuff, but at the same time, it's very subjective. What might make me happy would not be the same thing, right? Like, I could run over to Sephora and I'd be the happiest girl in the world, and I can't say the same. So,
No, I got my free product. I didn't use it. So
yeah. So it is about that. It is about marketing the feeling that it gives you. Like, oh my God, my day is made just by this one little thing. And it's also about making sure that your product, I feel like, has that continuous effect, right? So the lipstick model, it doesn't work if it's a one-time feeling, right? If I bought this thing one time and I feel great, second purchase, I'm like, okay, whatever. Third purchase, I'm like, did I need to spend the money? If I start questioning these daily purchases, the lipstick effect doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for the producer. It doesn't work for the economy at large. It's because the feeling keeps going. Every single day, as I keep purchasing it, I become happier and happier to a point where it's almost like I have to have it.
Yeah.
Like, I was driving on my way over here, and today I made my own coffee, and I looked at the Dunkin' because I'm an avid Dunkin' drinker. I looked at it, and I immediately called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I feel like I should just spend the $7. Like, who cares? It's $7. And even though I'm in marketing, I know these are tactics. I know what goes into making a consumer feel like this. I'm also a consumer, so I still feel that way regarding certain products and certain goods, and it's about keeping that going. Like, every time I'm going down this one street and I see this one store, I just have that feeling of I have to have it. Like, it's not actually doing anything, but it just changes my complete like mindset, and I'm like so much happier. So it's about marketing that feeling, that gratification, and sometimes you don't even have to be so obvious about it. It's very, very intuitive.
So do you feel, and just to kind of wrap this episode up because I don't want to run long, but do you feel that social media is the best way to promote these types of things, to get these visuals out, to get the feelings across? I mean, we've got a variety of media vehicles that are out there. Is there one in particular, is there one social platform that you would recommend for those that are out there in the small business space to start to understand the lipstick effect? Is it, what would be your
Yeah.
favorite, or what would be your recommendation where they should start to look?
I would say it would definitely either have to be TikTok or Instagram because they're short videos. You don't lose audience's attention, but also you get to experience it with them. When I'm looking at a billboard and I see some guy smiling, I'm like, okay, good for you, but like, who cares? But when I am seeing a little video on my phone, scrolling, and there's this couple laughing, I'm like, oh, cute. And that awe and cute makes you want to buy something. So I would definitely say TikTok and Instagram, a lot of reels, a lot of, just something that's relatable, daily life experiences accentuated just a little bit with my product. And I think that's the key to selling.
Love it. Well, that is our episode number 73. I want to thank you for coming
Of
in. I think
course.
we're going to
Thanks
have
for
you
having
stick
me.
around for another episode because, I think this is going to be fun. But we've got another effect that we're going to talk about in the next episode. So
Okay.
those of you that are listening, listen to the next one. We'll see you next time.